Guys, you're really welcome back to part 2 of the gang stalking videos. So in the first video, we covered what gang stalking looked like. And today I'd like to go through the various techniques or ways you can game plan your way into protecting yourself if you are unfortunately being gang stalked at the moment, or if you have a family member who's in a very difficult position because of a narcissist organizing this type of group attack on a single individual. Gang stalking can be centralized. I mean, an organization can organize to gang stalk another organization or individual for the purposes of information gathering or intimidation. But for the purposes of this video, I'd like to cover a single narcissist and how they and why they operate gang stalking on an individual. And gang stalking essentially is a group of people, group of individuals targeting a single individual in a malign way to gather information, to harass, to intimidate, to hurt, to destroy, in an attempt directed by a single individual. It's not essentially like an organized thing. The narcissist doesn't call a meeting in the long hall and say, you know, attendance required, all flying monkeys for this Thursday night at 8 o'clock. For gang stalking activities in relation to their ex, it's not like that. It can really go under the radar, and the victim can often think that they're imagining things. It's that subtle sometimes. For some, it's a lot more pronounced and they actually know that it's happening, and it's very scary, and it's very kind of in your face gang stalking, and it's a definite deliberate attack. So there's various levels of it, but basically that's the definition. So if you feel that there's even sporadically people coming towards you with the same malign intent, or the same type of critique of you, or the same type of information pulling and gathering, and you feel there's something going on in the background, you may very well be right. Don't assume that you're being paranoid. You can very well be right. So there's different levels. You can have, you know, family members coming at you in an organized way, all with the same purpose. You can have friends, you can have acquaintances, you can have people online, you can have gang stalking in the workplace where you're isolated and you're the target of one person driving kind of the shepherd driving the sheep towards you, although they're not very sheep-like when they're attacking. Then you can go to the next level and have organizations where, you know, gang stalking is organized for information gathering purposes by organizations. It's a kind of a different type of activity. You can have criminal gang stalking. So for our purposes, I would just like to cover, say, the single narcissist organizing an attack on you, because this community, I suppose, is more involved in learning about the individuals and particularly our exes who will organize this type of destructive attack on us. So guys, in order to combat a negative behavior against yourself, it's really interesting, and I did say this in the last video, to look at the motivation behind the behavior. So if you feel that there is an attack against you, and you know for sure, you know, you've had instances, say, on social media, or your job has been interfered with, or you're receiving letters in the post, or you have people ringing you up and not answering, you know, I mean, give me some examples down in the comments, share them with the community, and see if we all agree that that's kind of a gang stalking activity. So basically what's happening is you have a narcissist and you have a victim. And in between that, you have the flying monkeys who are under the control of Mr. or Mrs. Narcissist. So you have identified that you are under a group attack. So look at the narcissist, because honestly, everyone's situation is going to be different. The narcissists have a prime aim, and we all know that it's for power and control over you. But each narcissist may have a different customized individual aim in relation to organizing their gang stalking of you. So look at your own individual situation, and if you can't identify what the motivation is behind the narcissist's behavior, besides the normal narcissistic need to validate their sense of significance and power and control over you by you suffering, if there's something else that they're looking for from you, try and identify that, because it will help in the game plan against what they're actually doing to you. So it may be that they want custody of the children. They may want you to appear mad. They may want you to leave a property so that they can legally gain access and call it theirs, or try and do you out of your share of the property. There's always, or often, a duplicate reason, or a double reason why they actually will gang stalk you, not just for your emotional output and not just for revenge. There may be something that they want to gain from you. So try and identify that at the offset. It will help in relation to your game plan. So here we have the situation where you're under attack. There are two ways I would say to approach this. The first piece of advice I would give, and it may be something you've done already, is look at the laws or the legal system in your state or in your country and see how they define gang stalking, or what constitutes stalking of a person and what constitutes the crime. In other words, what evidence do you have to produce in order to get somebody convicted of this, or stop, get them warned by the authorities that they have to stop, or get a restraining order against them. So basically, you know that you're being gang stalked, and the second thing you have is the information in your particular state in relation to the definition of gang stalking and what ways the law prosecutes against this. So you're armed with these two pieces of information. The next thing to do is to go to your local authority, your local police station, providing they're not in on the gang stalking. This can happen. Some people narcissists can have friends in the police force. If so, go out of your particular area and go to another police unit. Ask them, state your case. Say you believe that you're being harassed by a group of people, and you believe that you know who the instigator of this harassment is. What do they need you to do, or what advice can they give you to protect yourself? Or what do they need from you in order for them to take it on board and actually approach this group or the narcissist to dole out some consequences? The thing is, guys, there are a two-pronged approach to this. Those three things that I've said are the best ways to start your game plan in relation to your narcissistic attack. The other thing is to think about this. The narcissist and their flying monkeys need fuel for their fire. They have a game plan, and they want you to react accordingly. And they expect you to react accordingly, because they've done this all their life, and they've been met with success in relation to their particular manipulation techniques. So they don't expect not to be successful when they're trying to intimidate and destroy your mental health and your peace of mind and your workplace or your property or whatever they're after. They expect to succeed. They expect you to react in a certain way. So what I'm saying to you is, if you don't feed the fire goes low. Now you're going to say to me, Paula, I didn't react, I didn't do anything, but they persisted. They've persisted for years. If this is the case, you really need to hone your information gathering. Let them hang themselves, basically. Don't give them the reaction that they want from you, but take note of everything they do to you or around you or by you. Make a note, record, document, and if you can, record on your phone. You know, make a video if somebody's approaching you and doing something that could be considered harassment by this narcissist or in this group. So if you've gone 4 years and you haven't reacted, have you recorded and have you gone to the authorities? And is the information that you've gathered the information that they need to prosecute? So you can see where I'm coming from this. Start as you mean to go on. Start armed with the knowledge of what you need for the authorities to be able to successfully warn the group off, get a restraining order, or prosecute for the crime of stalking and harassment against you. So the approach to this is, I often have the two-pronged approach going on here on this channel, but the two-pronged approach really works. And it is simply to deal with the situation in a very logical way, even though it's hugely emotionally upsetting. Very understandable that you might want to either hit back, take revenge, or go under, have a nervous breakdown. All of these things are possibilities, but it is within your control not to let that happen. Armed with knowledge, educated about what is happening to you, and armed with what you need to do, the tools to deal with it will allow you to come out here as the winner. You see, the consequences for the narcissist will not be as they expect. The narcissist expects what they've always achieved by these manipulations, and that is their target's destruction, their target's emotional reaction, their target acting the way they expect the target to act, the target putting themselves in the bad light that the narcissist is expecting them to go into by reacting emotionally. What you need to do, guys, is when this attack is happening to you, do not go around telling other people that it is happening. Don't go around giving that information out, because you don't know who to trust in this situation, and the narcissist is looking to hear back from whatever source how you're reacting to it. And you may have someone that you're confiding in that isn't really truly trustworthy. So my other suggestion is to only confide in one source for your emotional support. And if you're to deal with this in a logical manner, you do need that emotional support. If you don't have anyone, if you feel that you've been isolated, you don't have anyone in your area that you can trust, often the narcissists bring us to different countries, different locations where we become more powerless because we're more isolated. Please get some coaching support. Go to someone that can give you that emotional support, that can help you see clearly what's happening through your emotions, to deal with this in a very, very organized, very logical, cool-headed way, because that is the way you will win in a gang stalking situation. Do not information share, because it will get back to the narcissist and it will fuel the fire and keep them going, because they'll feel that they're achieving what they set out to achieve. Another tool for dealing with this is, if you can, move location and don't deal with it. Move location if it's not going to be you know, not going to adversely affect you, get the hell out of there, because dealing with these people is a waste of your precious life, energy, source, and time. I'm just giving these tools if you actually have to deal with this toxicity in your life, with an individual that you've unfortunately become entangled with, or family members. Just because they're family doesn't mean that you have to stay in contact with them, doesn't mean that you owe. I mean, you don't owe an abuser anything. If people are abusing you in your family, take a break from them. If that's the minimum that you can do, take a break from them. This is not right. The narcissists are targeting you because you have something that they want, or that they feel threatened by the light. They feel threatened by your light. They don't like the fact that they actually know that you're superior to them, and they want to bring you down. That's it on the simplest level. But on the other levels, as I said at the beginning of the video, they may be targeting you for their own pleasure, or they may be targeting you in addition to their own pleasure to obtain something from you, to get you to react in a certain way so that you look a certain way, or that you do what they want you to do. So don't fall foul of these toxic, disgusting, crawling creatures. That's the only way I can describe these people. They have no compassion, no remorse, no morality, no integrity. And they only feel a sense of empowerment by downing you in your destruction. Don't let it happen. You don't have to let it happen. You can deal with this in an organized way. So just to reiterate, guys, take the logical approach. Anyone with any other suggestions in relation to how to deal with gang stalking, please leave in the comments for the assistance of other members of our community. And on the one hand, deal with it logically, and on the other hand, make sure that you get emotional support during this journey, because it's not easy when you feel under attack from not just one person, by a group activity. And again, it is subtle, it can go under the radar sometimes. Don't feel you're being paranoid. Listen to your gut. Listen to that primal gut instinct about what's happening, and share only with one individual. And guys, I know that some people don't realize that I actually do private coaching in this area. So narcscon@gmail.com if you want to inquire about rates and availability. That's narcscon@gmail.com. If you are going through gang stalking and don't have emotional support at hand, contact me and I can take you through the stages of it. In the meantime, take great care of yourselves, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.